So today we find ourselves in Cathays Cemetery. Now Cathays is an area of Cardiff, and it's a massive cemetery. It spans most probably 2 miles, maybe a mile and a half, something like that. There's a road it's the intersection, interstitial piece, which separates the two cemeteries. This is the oldest part of the cemetery, and then there's a newer part of the cemetery on the other side. And I thought what would be interesting today is, so what we're doing today is bringing out the Nikon F301. So Nikon F301 was a really interesting camera. It sort of was that point where we were coming out of the F3s and the manual cameras, and we were just on the cusp of sort of autofocus cameras, and they brought out the F301. There's a Nikon FA, which was multi-segment metering, first in multi-segment metering, and then there was the they had a PSAM, program shutter speed, aperture priority, and manual, and this was a hybrid and had a built-in motor drive. It's got program high, program and aperture priority and manual, so it's interesting from that point of view. And really great little camera, really reliable, great exposure, yeah, it worked very, very well. And what I thought we'd do today is, I've got this Nikon Nikkor 200mm f4, yeah, Nikkor it's a Micro Nikkor 200mm f4. And the beauty about this lens is the fact that you can be quite far away and get fantastic macros, so you don't have to get really on top of your subject, so you don't cast shadows and that sort of stuff. So, and we're using, in the camera, we're using Nikon, Ilford Ortho 80 Plus in this camera. And the other thing about this camera is the fact that it was sort of an auto load system, so you just loaded the film in, pulled the leader across to a red mark, and then once you got to the red mark, you just close the back, and it would wind on, and really very nice, straightforward film loading in this particular camera. So it's a great little camera. The only funky part about it is the fact that the tripod socket is not in the centre of the camera. It's off to the left of the camera, and that's just a bit, it's a bit odd. But anyway, I suppose they wanted to keep it a narrow, because I think it's four AA's that power this camera, and so they wanted to keep the profile quite slim, because it doesn't look like it's got a motor drive at all. It's a really sleek profile on it. So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a little wander of this fantastic location, and look in detail at some of the lichens that grow on the gravestones, and some of the dying hydrangeas and that sort of stuff today. It's all going to be quite close, and the Ortho 80 I think should yield nice fine grain. Interestingly, it's an orthochromatic film, so it's not sensitive to red light. And so therefore we should get some nice interesting contrast with the greens and that sort of stuff in the foliage and whatever. So it should be quite interesting for that. And yeah, let's see what we get out of it. But the location it's a great location. I love this part. I do like cemeteries. I mean, goodness knows one day I'll be spending a long time in one. So it's a good job I like them. But anyway, fantastic. It's late. Oh, it's mid-November now. So and it's been incredibly mild, horrendously wet last week. This week coming now, and it was horrendously wet last week, and it was like sort of 15 degrees. It was ridiculous, 16 degrees. And now all of a sudden the rain's gone, and poor Monmouth got a real drenching, which is terrible. And we're going to now go into a really cold spell, apparently, sort of minus figures this week, but it's going to be clearer, so it's going to be nice and crisp. So it's about time we had some blue skies, which is nice. So yeah, so let's experiment now with the Nikon F301, and let's see what we get out of it. So let's go for a walk. It's a really big graveyard, that, and I have to say that I really enjoy using Ilford Ortho 80. I think it's great for landscapes. I really like using it outdoors for architectural landscapes, that sort of stuff. I think it performs fantastically well, and you get these amazing results like this. It's fine grain, and it has it's got great latitude. I developed it in Ilford ID11 at stock, so it's an 8-minute development, and it rendered really well. Lovely fine grain, and as I said, as you saw from the slideshow, what was interesting about it is that every shot had a really nice feeling about it, and just worked out really well. I printed up this shot. I quite like this. This is the hydrangeas, and hydrangeas are amazing when they're dying. It just looks so beautiful. And then actually, there's I got some shots which I may show you one day. I did a few years ago where I shot it in the studio. I had a hydrangea head, and all the leaves have become skeletal, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. They're really just amazing things to photograph, and I think this just looks lovely and delicate, and I think it suited the day. And exploring graveyards is a wonderful thing, because obviously the lichens. So one of my little areas of work I do is I work with artists and I reproduce prints for them, and that's why I've got the printing. I have a printing business, and that's why we do the printing. And I have one lady who's so incredibly talented, botanical artist. She's an amateur botanical artist, but I came across her a few years ago. She's a lady in her 80s now. Amazing work she does, but she specialises in lichens. And I never knew how beautiful lichens were, and the vast array of lichens that there are, and the delicacy of them. But they're incredibly small. And in the slideshow, there's this one there's one shot which is the lichen. It sort of is in a bunch. I mean, you may have noticed it, and the stems on it are tiny, and the lens. This Nikkor, Micro Nikkor 200mm f4, absolutely amazing. It resolved the mind. I recognised the lichen from one of her paintings, which I was really thought, oh wow, that's what it looks like. That's amazing. And I don't know how she must do it under a microscope because it's astonishing, or big magnifying glass. Her work is incredible. But this lens performed beautifully well, and the beauty of it is the fact that you don't have to get close. So from a big distance away, I was able to get these macro shots, and that's the whole point of it. It's 200mm. That's why it's designed that way. But I shot everything at f16 because I presume f16 has got to be the sweet spot for this lens. This lens goes down to f32, yeah, I was delighted by its performance because it's an old lens, not that matters, but nevertheless, and also delighted with the exposures the Nikon F301 gave me. Great camera to use. Just that little foible of the offset tripod mount, which I just find annoying, but it is what it is. But apart from that, the camera's great because you can see it's. If I just show you on the top camera, the camera's profile is really thin, and so you don't notice at all that it's got a motor drive, and yeah, I love it. It's great camera, and literally you wouldn't notice carrying that around every day. And I always remember I used to have an F301 back in. Well, actually, I can tell you what it was. I did so we're friends back in 1989. And Nigel Mansell was racing, and Senna and all those people. We went to the British Grand Prix, and Nigel Mansell was driving for Ferrari at that time, and just incredible. So it was the 1989 British Grand Prix, and I picked up a Nikon F301 to take to the Grand Prix with it, and I borrowed a lens off the studio I was working for at the time. It was an 200 f4 Nikkor, and got some great shots. It was great for that. And also, just on a side note, back in 1989, Formula One cars, the noise was like a banshee from hell. I've never known such a screaming noise of a Formula One car. And that's with the V12 engines then, I'd imagine. So yeah, but anyway, he was driving for Ferrari, and I got some. So I took the F301 with me, and I always remember because I wanted an F3 back then, but F3s are very expensive, and I thought, well, at least I've got part of an F3. It says F301. So anyway, how old was I? How old was I in 1989? I was 21 years old in 1989. Gosh. So yes. So yeah, I have a nostalgic liking for this camera as well. But today it performed fantastically well. I shot everything on this 200mm Nikkor, Micro Nikkor, and I think it's. I love the way it condenses the perspective because obviously it's 200mm, and yeah, I was delighted with the results. I thought the quality was fantastic, and we managed to achieve some a decent gallery there, I thought, and not too many tombstones and crosses there. There was a lot of other stuff, and also the trees in Cathays Park, in Cathays Cemetery, amazing. The barks. That's why I shot a sequence, because the bark is incredible. And I thought they came out quite well. I was really quite chuffed with those. So yeah, so that was good. But yeah, so that's today's little escapade. Sorry for the delay in getting the next video out, because it's been a bit busy. I've been shooting. I have one client, a major client of mine, and kitchen appliances, that sort of stuff. Fantastic. And there's a great bunch of great team in the marketing team, and we've been doing a lot of work on projects, and been shooting a lot of food, which has been fun. So I do a lot of food photography, and it's actually food video as it happens. I've been shooting because obviously for social media and a lot of upright sort of social media content. So that's been busy, and so to try and get in another YouTube video has been challenging. So my apologies for the delay in getting this next one out, but no, today was a lovely day. I enjoyed it, and we got some nice images I was quite pleased with, and yeah, so and I think the hydrangea shot came out quite nicely. So yeah, so that was good. Anyway, I hope you're all keeping well, and thank you so much for the new subscribers and continuing the support for the channel, which is so much appreciated. And so please do, if you do like it, please do like this video and subscribe if you're not subscribing, which would be marvelous, and hit the bell icon as well so you know when the next one's coming out. I'll try and get one out a bit quicker next time. But in the meantime, you have a good week, and yeah, we'll catch up on the next episode. So yeah, take care and cheerio.